this does is it gives you the ability to really brainstorm on how to approach problems. As a matter of course, it's actually an ideology and an approach for you to actually solve a problem in an highly user-centric manner. Now you might be confused at what exactly is user-centric manner. Okay, user-centric manner is explaining to you how you are able to understand users, how you are able to empathize with users, how you are able to think like users before preferring a solution. All right. So in a case where you have to design anything, it is important for you to navigate to your design thinking ability such that you can understand the problem before you provide a solution to a consumer or the end user of whatever you are designing. All right. It is based heavily on the methods and processes that designers use. Like I said before, you have to really brainstorm on ideas that you actually need for you to come up with something that will be useful for users. So I hope this is clear. All right. This is where we tend to discuss certain things. All right. I'm going to be taking just four people. Four. The question on the screen is: when you're in a problem, what do you do first? Whenever you find yourself in any problem, what exactly do you do first? Before let me go back to the previous slide. Here it involves design thinking. All right. So before you can actually think about any design, there should be a problem. There should be certain nuances that you want to address. All right. And before you can address them, you need to think critically so you can provide solutions to them. Now, the question that dives down to this: when you're in a problem, what exactly do you do? So I'm going to just call about four different individuals. So if I see your name, please just respond as soon as possible. And if you want to input your answer via the comment section, please do that as soon as possible. Please feel free. Whatever you say is absolutely valid. No one's idea will be taken as less important. Everyone's idea is absolutely significant. All right, so I'm going to start with Temi Lara. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. Temi, can you hear me?
Sir,
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to get something right first. Do you understand what I explained before?
The question,
No, no. What I explained before about design thinking.
not really.
Okay. But the question, can you attempt it?
Okay, what I will do first is ah, how do I put this in words?
Put it
Um,
anyhow. Trust me. Put it anyhow.
okay, I will probably
Just say
go
anything
back.
that
Yes,
comes to you.
I will
Okay.
go back
Okay.
to where I started from, or something like that, sir. Before
Okay.
the problem happened,
Okay.
so I'll
You
go
go
back
back
into
to
before
you
I
go back
start
to where
looking
the
for
problem
solution.
originated from.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that it? Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful. And afterwards, what do you do next? Hmm? What do you do next?
It find possible solution to
Okay,
the
beautiful.
problem.
Finding possible solution. Thank you. You can actually unmute. So let me explain again to you what you do not understand about design thinking. All right, design thinking actually. Okay, let me put it this way. Design thinking involves a designer to think about a solution to a particular problem. And how do you think about a particular problem? The designer would not have to put him or herself in the status of the person that will be using this or design. For instance, let's say I am a user interface designer, let me put it that way, and I'm supposed to design the interfaces for Jumia. Let me put it that way. I'm supposed to design the interfaces for Jumia. Now, probably the problems my users were facing before is that Jumia they do not deliver on time. Jumia do not get updates about whatever they order. Jumia does not give discounts. Yeah, these are problems, right? But for me to actually say I want to solve this problem, I need to now put myself in the state of those users. I need to start thinking like them. I need to empathize with them. I need to empathize with them and provide solutions to these problems. So, meaning, okay, I have people raising their hands already. I will get to you. Meaning, you are providing a solution to a problem. And how do you do that? You need to think in the form of a user so you can actively produce something productive as a designer. So, is that clear now? Bewaji.
Sir, sorry, please can you come again? The last few seconds I didn't hear anything.
Okay. So what I said was, whenever there is a problem, as a designer, you're expected to think about what the problem is, how to solve the problem, when to solve the problem, but all that you're doing it in form of a user. There is a difference between a designer and a user. A designer is a person who designs something. A user is a person who uses something. And in this form, you're saying a user uses the design. All right. So for you to now provide a solution to the problem a user is facing, you need to put yourself in the state of that user as a designer. And if you go that way, that is exactly what we call design thinking. Is that clear? BYG, is that clear? I want to move on to another person.
No.
Yeah, is that clear, BYG?
Yes, sir.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. I'm going to go with Kami. Let me see the other at which you guys raise your hands. Sorry. Okay, good. All right. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I might not be able to pronounce this, but Garahuri. I'm sorry, Garahuri. Or should I call you just he? Please, you can unmute and speak.
I'm going to assume that's me. My
Yeah,
surname is
absolutely. I'm
Hayes.
sorry. Hey. Okay.
Hayes.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey.
Like
All
hi
right.
or yes, like that.
That's
Um,
beautiful.
to answer the question, um, when facing a problem, I'll typically start by understanding the problem. To go
Okay.
deeper into research and gathering relevant information, and then
Okay.
I will start seeing the user needs. What goals this problem, or what is the goal of solving this problem, and just try to ideate and brainstorm potential solutions.
All
That
right.
is my answer. Yes.
All right, that's absolutely beautiful. Trust me. Hey, that's absolutely beautiful. That's brilliant. All right, that's exactly what
Thank
I will
you.
also do. I'll just put myself in a status where I need to find out the problem first, and I start to think of possible information that I could get to really understand the problem, and then I will jump into okay, fine. What are the things I need to analyze about this problem before I talk about the solution? Thank you so much. That's brilliant. All right, so we just call on the last person and we jump on to the next thing. Shadara or Shadara, I'm sorry. Just whenever you unmute, just repronounce the name so I can get it right. I know hey now, so I'm not going to pronounce that bad. Please shoot, unmute.
Hello, my name is Ajijola Luwa Shadari. So
Shadari.
yeah,
Okay.
so when I'm in a problem, I identify the problem, and like Hay said, I usually try to figure out ways out of the problem so I can achieve my goal.
Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Shadara. So the case is, as a designer, you need to put yourself in the state of a user so you can understand the problem that the user is facing. All right, let me give you a practical example. Okay, there was a time I needed to work on a project. All right, and it was to design the interfaces for a paint website. The paint website is actually Tech Funder Tech Limited. And what did I notice? I noticed that certain informations were wrong on the website, and I needed to redesign this. I needed to reshape how the interfaces appeared. Informations on the platform tend to not be clear. So the case is, many users will go on this website and they are reading very wrong information, so they are frustrated, and they do not like to go to this website because it's not giving them the accurate information. And what did I do? I had to put myself in the state of these users. I had to go on the website and navigate it, and I saw that I was also frustrated. All right, so I was able to understand the problem, and I started to think of possible solutions by making several research and the likes, and that was what fetched me one beautiful way of designing things. So these are the things that you have to put in place whenever you have a problem to solve. I hope this is clear. All right. um, we've talked about design thinking, and I want to believe that we have a proper understanding of what design thinking is about. Now, there are two types of design thinking. Two types of design thinking. On the screen here, you can see a solution-based design thinking and a problem-based design thinking. Now, let me explain this properly to you. Now, a solution-based design thinking focuses on certain solutions that you want to prefer to a particular problem the user is facing. And when you're doing this, you have to constructively and effectively try to provide the solution so as to tackle the problem that you are facing, all right, or that the users are actually facing. So, in the process of thinking about any design, in the process of doing anything around design thinking, you have to ensure that you either fall in one category or the other category, which is either solution based design thinking or problem based design thinking. So, in the solution based design thinking, you are focusing on solutions, all right? But in the problem based design thinking, you are focusing on hindrances, on obstacles, on problems, on limitations, on restrictions. You're focusing on the things that are creating havoc, problems to a particular user. So one is preferring solution, the other is understanding problem. Is it clear around the kind of design thinking we have? Just input your responses via the text so I will be sure that we're on the same page. Okay, I have, can you please make this slide show available at the end of the class? Yeah, we will try to make it available so you will get it. Okay, apologies, Oluwashi for me. Apologies about that. Can you hear me clearly now? I need to be sure that, yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Again, I want to be sure that we all have a proper understanding on the types of design thinking that we have. Please comment in the text section so we can have this running before I move on to the next item. And if you perhaps have any question at any point, please raise your hand so I can address the question. Okay, good. All right. So let's go. All right. So this is it. I need you all to just take a duration of 1 to 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes. All right. Okay. I'm just going to limit it to 1 minute. So this is 11:26. By 11:28, I will request that you all respond. I'm going to entertain five different individuals, just five of you. Remember that the more active you are, the more input you make on this very cohort, yes, you'll be recognized for it. So please and please, at any point, do not feel uninterested. If you find anything difficult, that is why we are here. Just tell us, and then we will definitely explain to you. All right. So this is a question. Think of a problem. Think of a problem, and let's discuss about the solution. All right. So I'll be waiting for you to respond by exactly 11:28. Okay, 11:28. I will respond to everyone. And as you're thinking about it, be inputting in your text section so I can start to call it out. Once you are able to think of the problem, input it. It could be any problem, just input it in the text section. We are almost getting to the end of the insecurity, food insecurity. Okay, I'm seeing Abdul Karim. Okay, I have people raising their hands already. So probably entertain them too. But first, let us address this. We have data breaches, we have diseases, outbreak, climate change. It is a very wonderful problems. Poverty, yeah, another big one. All right. Okay, good. Akin, yes, amazing. So I think I'm loving the responses already. So let's make this common hunger very, very important in Afghanistan. All right. So where do we go from here? Let me see the guys who have their hands raised. Please start to raise your hands now. I'll entertain five people. I have two people already. So in five, four, I have three people already. Raise your hand. Do not be shy. Just raise your hand. It's just a way of beautiful. I have three people already. I need more. I need two more. Otherwise, I will call your name. If you don't raise your hand, I will call your name. I have four. I need one more person who is going to save someone else on the platform. Who is saving someone else? Okay, so I will call someone's name. I'm sorry if I have to call your name. So I'm going to speak with Robert. Robert, can you hear me? Hello, Robert, can you hear me? I'm sure you're on the call. Robert, can you hear me? Okay. I'm just going to call someone else. I guess Robert is attending to something else.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
okay, you're
yeah.
there. How are you? How are you? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Since Robert is not here, I will just go with the first person who raised hand, and I will jump back. I'm still going to entertain a lot of people, all right? But please and please, I need you to always give me your responses. It's imperative for the course of this program. Okay, fine, beautiful. I have five amazing people, five amazing interns. Thank you so much for raising your hands.
Mm.
So I'm going to start with Shadara. Shadara, you've been very, very proactive. So please shoot. Can I mute? Tell me the problem and tell me the kind of solution you intend to propose.
Okay, so my problem was food insecurity, and food insecurity is like the lack of access to food and also like healthy food. So when people live in areas that are urban, they get congregated near all these cheap fast food, or they don't get access to fresh produce. And usually the solution is to create walkable areas to them, and so that people can get to them. And also with food insecurity, people don't have access to markets that they can because they can't drive. So the solution to that would be to create walkable areas to markets where they can get healthy food.
Okay, that's brilliant. Trust me, that's absolutely brilliant. And
Thank
that's a
you.
problem. That's the solution. That's exactly what we are talking about. Because you put yourself in the state of the people who are in areas where their food are not very, very secure, makes you a designer. You're designing in your head. You're thinking about the problems, you're thinking about the solution at the same time. That is absolutely what we are talking about when it comes to design thinking. So I want to ask one more question, Shadara. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, between the two types of solutions, design thinking processes that I talked
Sorry,
about,
could you repeat?
which one of okay, yeah, this is the question. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, between the two design thinking processes that I talked about,
Hmm.
the solution based and the problem solving based, which one of these did you address when you were preferring the solution? When you attempted this question, let me put it that way. Did you incorporate the two, or you just restricted yourself to one, or you probably go for the other? What exactly did you think about?
I thought about the solution more, so I'd say solution based.
Beautiful. But at least you thought about the problem too.
Yes.
Yes. So you incorporated it too.
Yes.
All right. Problem based and problem solving, problem based solution, and then solution based thinking. All right. So these are the two types, and then you incorporated the two in thinking about the solution to the problem. I hope this is like a clear emphasis on the two types of design thinking that we have. Shadara, I need to hear you.
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
All right. I'll go for yeah. You know what? So, it's good. So call on Aliyu. Aliyu, can you hear me? Or is it Aliyu? I don't know. I have two Aliyu here. Are you guys brothers or sisters or siblings? Let's put it that way. So Aliyu, you can shoot first. Okay, I do not want to waste much time on that. The next, Timaya, can you hear me? Okay, Timaya, I don't know. What the fuck, I'm not so sure. You guys have very wonderful names. It's almost confusing. Okay, so I want to believe we are attending to something else. So, Afsat, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning. So, please shoot. I've got the question.
Okay, so the problem was disease outbreak, and
Mm-hmm.
the main cause of disease outbreak is actually unhealthy habits that
All right.
we don't wash our hands frequently, or unhealthy association with animals, and poor hygiene in your
Okay.
workplaces. So
Okay.
the solution should start from always washing your hands where whenever you finish doing anything, whether you finish cooking or you finish attending to customers, you should always develop the habit of washing your hands. Also, we should try to eat healthy foods and healthy meals, and we should ensure that our environment is always sanitized and well with proper hygiene.
All right, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Afsat. You just displayed what it means to understand the user, and then you were able to fall in between the two different categories that gives a proper explanation on what design thinking is all about. Thank you very much for that. I will entertain one more person so I can continue with the session. I have a long way to go. He, can you hear me? I saw your hands up. Okay. E, can you hear me? I saw your hands up before. Sorry, hey. So I'm missing that. So hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. I'm sorry, my network is just a little bit struggling.
It's fine. So go ahead. It was a mistake, right?
It's not up. I think it
Okay,
was
okay.
just a mistake. Yeah,
All right, no
sorry.
problem. No problem. One last person. Ali, can you shoot? I called your name before. Your hands are up. If you can, please do that. I'm just gonna count 5 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, I want to believe that's due to network issues for internet connection. So, David, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah, I
David.
can
Is
hear
that
you.
David? Okay, that's Aliyu. I'm just going to entertain Aliyu instead of David. So, Ali, can you hear me?
So my problem was hacking,
All right, go ahead.
and
Are you
what
sticking
really
to? Hold on, hold on. Are you sticking to the solution-based thinking or the problem-solving thinking? Which are you sticking to? I think this is a better way to get it right. Which do you want to stick to? Are you preferring solution or you want to talk about the problem?
the boat.
All right, go ahead.
So before you can even find a solution, first of all, you have to know the real reason why it happens. Now, the real reason why people hack are usually for financial gain, for theft, and for fame, and maybe for revenge sometimes. And now, ways of preventing them are usually you install antivirus, you install anti spyware, you use complex password, and you keep your OS apps and browser updated.
That's our ways of venting them and looking for a solution to that.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for the input. So, the essence for this particular exercise is for you to have a proper understanding on the types of design thinking processes that we have. All right. So, I hope this brings us to a close on this particular section. So, let's jump into the next item. So, please, you can all mute. Solutions good. Okay, I'm beginning to see some comments. Let me read through. My mic is disabled. I won't be able to speak. I'll send it through the chat. Absolutely. Okay, data breach is a security violation in which unauthorized access is given to confidential information. Yeah, this is beautiful. Trust me, this is beautiful. Aliyu, I don't know what's going on with your microphone. You might need to find means of fixing that. Okay, please, you can mute now as I'm about to speak about design thinking process. So there's always a process to design thinking, quite different from your normal design thinking. Your normal design thinking is just involving you understanding users. All right? When you understand users, when you empathize with them, that's a design thinking. That's what you're thinking about. Just the name is design thinking. But design thinking process, the name here is talking about the processes. The processes from the point of discovering the problem to the point of providing the solution to the point of satisfying the people who benefit from the solution. All right? So that's basically what design thinking process is all about. And yes, I remember vividly there was a time I was reading a document around a school that actually carried out a research about the four principles of design in California. It was Stanford University, and a man called Brian Lawson was one of the numerous guys who actually really worked on developing a thing around the principles of design. And what are the principles of design? There are actually four of them. Four of these principles were coined out to really explain what design is all about. So let's jump right into it. Here we go. We have the first one, which is called the human role. All right. If you have your pen and your book, I think it's time for you to jot down because this will really involve you to always make reference out. So we're using this while the training is going on. All right. The first one is the human role. All right. I said something before about user-centric way. So design thinking, that is an ideology, it's a process that involves you understanding a user, is simply regarded as user-centric manner. So when you're trying to understand a particular user, when you're trying to understand how a user is expected to use something, when you're trying to understand the problem a user is facing, that is what we call a user-centric manner, meaning you're putting yourself in the state of a user. And this human rule is just explaining to you that no matter what you want to do, you should always put yourself in the point or from the point of view of a user. All right, that's basically what this rule is talking about. So I'm going to read out the rule, and the rule is no matter what the context, no matter what design you want to do, no matter activity that you intend to do, it's important for you to understand that whole design activity is social in nature, absolutely, and any social innovation will bring us back to the human centric point of view. Human centric simply means human being, human view in this particular context. All right, so that's basically what the human rule is all about. Now, the second rule is the ambiguity rule. I don't know if you've heard of the word ambiguity, so I want to hear from about one or two different individuals. What do you understand by the lexicon ambiguity? Okay, I have a lot of people raising their hands. This is really encouraging. Okay, I'm going to call on Bewachi this time. Bewachi, can you hear me? I think after this, I'm not going to allow Bewachi to answer any question. I'm not going to allow Shadara to answer any question. I'm not going to allow Hay to answer any question. I'll just speak from the beautiful audience that I have here. So yes, Bewachi, please shoot.
Okay, to my own understanding, ambiguity is coined from the word ambiguous,
All right.
which means having diverse meanings or mean something has different meanings. It has different ways you can put it or something like that.
Beautiful. So Shadara, please shoot. I think you have another thing to say. Is it contrary or you still want to support it?
Mine is a little similar. Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So ambiguous, like ambiguity, like you said, comes from the word ambiguous, and so it means it's not clear or decided, and that can cause a lot of confusion because it means it can have multiple definitions.
All right, beautiful. I love the responses I'm getting. It simply tells that you guys have a better understanding on the lexicon ambiguity. All right. Yes, you guys have said it all. Ambiguity. When everything is overemphasized, everything is not very, very clear, and you're finding it very hard to understand things, you're receiving too many points of views. It becomes a problem for you. So in design thinking, there's a thing called ambiguity rule. I explained human rule before. It's about human, and this is ambiguity rule. Ambiguity rule now involves you getting multiple ideas. So let me read out what is here. Ambiguity is inevitable. Trust me, it is inevitable. As a designer, you will always have this as a problem, right? Because you receive multiple perspectives from different individuals, and it cannot be removed or overemphasized. Absolutely, you can. Experimenting at the limits of your knowledge and ability is crucial in being able to see things different. As a designer, it might be difficult for you to really, really understand certain things at some point because you were just very, very confused. And when that confusion is there, it becomes a problem for you to really, really think of the solution you want to prefer or to think of understanding the problem. I hope this is a bit clear on what ambiguity rule is about. You can always send your text through the comment section, so I'll be sure we're on the same page. And if you are beginning to have questions, please start to send them in. Okay, I can see. Okay, I will try to take that again. Ambiguity translates to confusion and lack of clarity. Absolutely, Ali. So, Nafisa, I'm going to take this again. So, ambiguity rule is basically explaining to you that whenever you have a particular problem to solve, you cannot remove it completely, meaning you cannot remove multiple perspective about the problems that you want to solve. You cannot remove that particular feature away from your design thinking process. All right. And when you have multiple perspectives, when you have multiple point of views about a particular problem, it becomes difficult. It becomes very, very difficult for you to think of the solutions that you actually want to prefer to a particular problem. All right. So basically, that's what ambiguity rule is discussing about. Nafisa, I hope this is a clear explanation of what ambiguity rule is about. So you can send in your text to the comment section. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you very much. So jump on the part one. We've talked about human rule. We've talked about ambiguity rule. It's now time for us to talk about the redesign rule. Now, all design is redesigned. Absolutely. I told you something before that I was working on a particular project called Fundamental Technology, where they actually produce paints, and I decided to redesign their website because of certain information that was disclosed there. I just needed to understand users and why they're frustrated while using their websites to either get paint or to know about a particular paint. So all design will actually go through that route of redesigning. All right. The same way Coca-Cola is currently wasn't the same way it was some years back. Yeah, you can see the design of Coca-Cola. Okay. The same way certain the same way we have certain bulbs that we normally use before wasn't the same way it was. I mean, wasn't the same way it was exactly. So basically, things will start to change, and what you have to think about is to redesign it, redesign your solution. There's a thing called prototype. They look like of a particular project. All right. While you're doing a prototype, that's basically the reason for prototype, for you to redesign things. During the course of this particular program, we will get to understand certain things around user personnel, user research. We get to user flow, user journey. We come to prototyping session, wireframing process, and we talk about high fidelity screen. All of these things will be things I will explain. I'll break them down for you to have the proper grasp of it. So basically, the prototype session is just for you to think about what element should I put here, what element should I put there. Okay, I'll go again. Human rule. You understand the problem, all right? You're able to detect that a particular user is facing a problem. Ambiguity rule. You're receiving multiple perspective about the problem that you just discovered. Now you need to brainstorm on the solution. You were able to achieve the solution in the ambiguity rule process. And then lastly, the third one is to redesign. Now you've designed something during the ambiguity rule process. The redesign rule should now tell you that you are able to design certain things. You're fixing this component here, you're fixing that bullet there, you're fixing certain items here, you're putting the content here, you're putting the images here, you want to align this text here. A lot of things coming in into your head while you were trying to put things in place. That's exactly the explanation around redesign rule. I hope this is a clear explanation on what redesign rule is explaining to you. So let me just get that in the comment section so I can proceed. I need to be sure we're on the same page before I jump into the next item. So, okay, I'm waiting. All right, good. So I'll move on to the next one. This is the last one. I said it before that in Stanford University in California, they came up with a particular concept called the principles of design, and they divided them into four different rules. These four different rules are expected to be things that you have to incorporate into your design thinking process. All right, and this was carried out by Brian Lawson. Now, let's go again. The tangibility rule. All right, the tangibility rule. So, making ideas in form of prototypes enables designers to communicate them more effectively. All right. Tangibility, the word tangibility simply means importance, significance. All right. And when you have a thing like this, you begin to think of, when it comes to design, actually, you begin to think of how you can design the prototype section, you design the wireframing processes, and then you just want to find the right things to put in place in readiness for a user to actually use whatever they intend to use. I hope this is a clear explanation on the principles of design thinking processes. If you're not clear with anything, this is the time for you to raise your hand and ask a question so I can attend to it as soon as possible. If you're not clear, raise your hand. Don't just be on the call. If you have anything that is bothering you and you want to discuss about it, or probably you're confused with a particular thing, this is the time for you to speak. Okay, I want to believe you're all on the same page. Okay, yeah, it seems we are all on the same page. So I'm just going to jump into the next item. All
So
right.
sorry, sir.
Okay.
There's a few questions in the chat that says they
Okay.
don't understand the traceability rule
Oh,
or something.
tangibility. Let me go again.
Yes.
I'm going to explain it again. Now, tangibility rule. All right. Eh, Anything that is tangible. No, can you do it this way? It might get into what I'm saying. Okay. So like that way. Thank you. So tangibility rule. Tangibility rule is basically explaining to you that you're done with your designs. You understand that you want to redesign things. You want to iterate certain things from your redesign rule. That once you get to the tangibility rule, you now think of multiple things that you can communicate with your brain. Yes, you think of multiple things that you can communicate with other designers. You think of multiple things that you can communicate with, maybe resources, just get yourself familiar with them, and you produce something that will communicate effectiveness when users are using it, such that you're able to address all of the features of user interface design. So basically, it goes this way. I'm going to give a recap. All right. So for the human rule, I'll put it this way: human rule, you discovered a problem. All right. So once you discover a problem, the next thing for you is to start to think of multiple solutions. And for you to effectively think of multiple solutions, you need to understand that there is a thing called ambiguity rule, and this ambiguity rule will fetch you multiple perspectives from different users on that particular problem. So you get confused. Do I understand this problem or I do not understand this problem? And by the time you eventually understand the problem, it's now time for you to redesign something. And that's called the redesign rule. So basically, the redesign rule is telling you what to actually do, what to change, what not to change. That's what the redesign rule is explaining to you. And then coming down to the fourth item, which is about the tangibility rule. So the tangibility rule is just giving you a proper understanding that you're done with your design. It is time for you to deploy. It is time for certain people to start to see your work. It is time for people to derive productivity with whatever product that you've been able to produce, whatever design that you're putting out there for users to use. This is basically the rules that they came up with to understand design thinking processes. I hope this is like a better explanation on what the tangibility rule stands for. Right. I'm going to also advise you can jot this down. Okay, you can jot this down. The tangibility rule: making ideas tangible in form of prototypes. All right. I explain what prototypes are. They look like of the end product. Enables designers to communicate them more effectively. So if you have this rule working in your head, that implies that you have something to produce to the public. You have something to give to users for them to derive satisfaction from your product. All right, I'll go again. The redesign rule to redesign certain things. All design is redesigned, while technology and social circumstances may change and evolve. Basic human needs Basic human needs remain unchanged. We essentially only redesign the means of fulfilling these needs or reaching desired outcomes. So you design, you iterate, you change certain things. That's basically what this rule is explaining. All right, ambiguity rule, I think I gave more emphasis on this. And the human rule, you know what this is representing. All right, so let's get started with the next item. But before we go, I need to hear two people. What are the rules again? I need to hear from you. So I'm going to call names. When I call your name, please just raise your hand. I mean, okay, I think no, I'm not going to call Shadara this time. I'm not going to call you this time. I'm going to call in Afisat. Oh, okay, yeah. I think everybody wants to answer this question. This is simple, right? Okay, oh, okay, fine. All right, I'm going to call Abdul Karim. Abdul Karim, are you there?
Yes, I'm in here.
Please tell me, what are the rules again?
The ambiguity rule, the
So what do you
human
understand by
rule.
ambiguity? Hold on. What do you understand by ambiguity rule?
Ambiguity rule.
I just want to hear you. Whatever you say is absolutely fine. If you're not correct, I will correct. So tell me, what do you understand by ambiguity rule? Okay.
It
Yeah, Lee,
is
just okay.
inevitable and it cannot be removed.
Cannot be removed. Why?
Yes.
Okay, let me just help you with that. The reason for it not being inevitable is because whatever solution you're providing, you will always get multiple perspective about the problem first and even the solution. So that's basically why you're having ambiguity rule to explain to you that you cannot avoid this rule. The rule will always be there. It's default. It's just going to be there. All right. Is this clear?
Yeah. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. That's brilliant. So okay, I might have to call Shadara. Shadara, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So mention a rule and tell me your understanding about it.
Okay, so we have the ambiguity rule. And
Yes,
so
someone explain
because
that. Someone explain that.
okay, so the tangibility rule is that
Beautiful.
when you're in problem solving, after you come up with a solution, you want to come up with a product that shows how tangible and feasible the idea has become.
All right.
So
I think that's beautiful. That's very very beautiful. Thank you so much. So I'll call on he. Yes, like hey. I'm sorry, hey. Hey, please you can shoot. Mention the
Yes.
rule and tell me your understanding about it.
The what? Sorry.
Mention the rule and tell me your understanding about it.
Okay. I'm going to mention the human rule.
Okay,
Uh,
go ahead.
it emphasizes putting the human preferences and experience, um, or like the end users' needs at the forefront of the process design.
That's
This is what I
beautiful.
understand.
That's absolutely beautiful. All right. So human rule is just telling you that you have to understand the user before you start to talk about problems and solutions. Thank you very much. I might not be able to entertain another person, but let me just see it if I can entertain one last person. So, David, please shoot.
Okay. I'll be talking about the redesign rule, which is the
All right.
last one.
Yeah.
Um, the redesign rule is basically talking about uh, after designing, as time
Yeah.
goes on, um, everything is changing. The world is changing. You have to come up with another idea, another design for to make it beautiful, more beautiful, and presentable for people. So
All
that's
right,
it.
that's beautiful. I can see Ali's response. Trust me, you are doing amazing work. I love that you are doing this. You mentioned ambiguity rule, being open to various solutions. That's one. You cannot overemphasize that. I explained that. With design rule, you also mentioned that in problem solving, the steps are not linear. They are iterative. You can't just be on one particular line and say that that's what you want to work on throughout. You should be vulnerable. You should be able to figure out certain things that you're supposed to figure out. And yeah, thank you very much, Ali. So I'm going to jump on the next item so we get to come to a close on very quickly. So I think we're coming to a close. Now, another thing that at Stanford University, another thing that at Stanford University did at California was that they had to come up with phases of design thinking. I'll emphasize more on this in the next lesson before we now jump into user interface design. All right, let's say tomorrow or Saturday we will do our first practical session on Figma. All right, this is it. The first thing is empathize. I told you before that for you to provide a solution as a designer, you need to understand your user. So you have to empathize with them. You have to be in the same condition as they are, and then you just have to understand certain things that they are going through. That's basically what the empathy part of this is talking about. The next thing is for you to define the problem. You already put yourself in a state where you do not understand you already understand them. Now the next thing for you is to define the problem. You want to define what you experienced. You want to define the solutions that you are faced with or the solutions you were faced with. Another thing is to ideate. That's like the third thing to do. Ideating or ideation in this process is for you to now think critically. This is where your design thinking ability comes in. All right? This is where you go very in depth with certain things that you have to think about, certain things that you need to understand in a proper and current manner. All right? Ideation just helps you think and think and think and think critically. There's an application called Notion. All right, and the word notion was actually coined from a Latin word called notio, and notio simply means ideas or thoughts. The particular application is just for you to input your ideas, your thoughts, anything, just like your notepad on your respective devices. All right. So whenever you are ideating, whenever you're thinking of anything, you might need any of these devices to start to jot things down. So yeah, my advice at this very point is you empathize with the users, you define the problem, your experience with the users, and the things that you intend to solve. You now think of the possible solutions from the things you defined, and you jump into the prototype session for you to produce a look-like of the actual product. And the last thing is for you to test. Testing is very, very important. You cannot produce a thing without testing. It's one very thing that you should not make that kind of mistake of. And how do you test? You just get probably few of your friends, probably few of the people who are interested in using that particular application, and tell them to help you test run it, and you receive feedback from them. So basically, these are the processes. Again, it's like a chain. The first one is empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. All right. So we've gone through design thinking, we've gone through design processes, we've gone through the phases of designs, we've gone through the principles of design. This is where we now decide on what is going to happen. All right. Are you going to be linear or you are going to be diverse? You just want to move from one angle to another angle just for you to get the actual solution that you are craving to see. So now I'm going to entertain three people for them to tell me if design thinking is a linear way or it is not a linear way. So tell me, I'm listening. I'm going to pick someone first. Um, Abdullah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, please shoot.
It's going to be in a diverse way. You can't think
Yeah,
linearly for a
why?
design because we need a broadened horizon for designing. For any design to take place or for any design to be produced,
Okay, so
many
you
things
do
have to
want
be
to be.
considered.
All right, so you do not want to be in a linear pattern when you're designing. You need to consider multiple perspectives when you're designing. Ambiguity rule, remember that. All right, remember the ambiguity rule. So, considering multiple perspective, considering that you are not going to be providing just one solution, you need to understand that you're providing a solution that is very, very diverse. Now, there are five certain questions that people do ask when it comes to innovation. Trust me. The first one is maybe let's say you were able to figure out a solution. I mean, you saw a problem and you want to provide a solution. So there are five questions that you actually ask yourself. It's not like the solution you want to provide. Someone has not done something similar to that. Someone has done it several times. Many people they've done it several times, but you just want to stand very unique. All right. So you don't have to be in a linear pattern. You have to be in a very different pattern. If that would be the case. All right. So the first one is for you to understand if your solution is good, if your solution is better, if it is going to be a thing that will take duration, a very long duration that is going to be better than others. All right, it's going to be better than other solutions that have been provided. All right. So basically, certain questions that will be asked when it comes to you profiling a particular solution, and for you to profile answers to these questions, you need to understand that your design thinking should not be in a linear way. I hope this is like a clear explanation on design thinking. Now, let us discuss questions. I want to entertain your questions now. Start to raise your hands if you have questions so we can come to a close. I think I'm having a lot of people raising their hands. This is beautiful. So I'm going to take Ikma. Ikma, please shoot. Ikma, please shoot. I can hear you. Okay, Ikma had to put her hands down. Aliyu, please shoot. I can see your hands up. Okay, I'll go five, four, three, two, one. So I want to believe that we do not have any question. Everything that I've explained from A to Z is absolutely clear. So this is where I will now ask my own question. And please, if I call your name, don't ignore me. Answer my question. This is a platform for you to actually get a better understanding. If you know it, good for you. And if you do not know it, it's it will be bad on your side because you are here to actually learn certain things. So mine are maybe not anymore. So who am I going to use first? Shadara has been very active. It's is that the correct way? Let's see me. Can you hear me? Okay.
The thing is,
My
I
question.
just joined the class
Okay.
10 minutes ago. I don't
You
really
just joined the
understand
class.
something.
All right. So I'll take you through. So I'll take you through some of those things that you need to know. But still, I'll call him someone else. You can mute for now. Who am I gonna call? So, I'm going to try he. Are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Please. My question for you is, as a designer, what is the first thing you want to do whenever there's a problem that users are facing?
Can you repeat it?
Designer, what is the first thing you want to do whenever there is a problem users are facing?
As a designer, I would want to understand the problem, um, try to empathize with the their users, and
Wonderful, wonderful. That's
come up
exactly the
with
word I was searching for. This is brilliant. I love that. Empathize with them first. Thank you very much. Hey. I'm just going to go with one. Just pardon me. Hey.
okay.
I'm gonna go with going with David. David, can you hear me? David, are you there? Okay, I want to believe David cannot hear me. So I'll go with Priska. Priska, are you there? Hello, Priska. Can you hear me? Okay,
Hi,
Priska. I'm not sure you can. Oh, yeah, good. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I can hear you, but I'm at work, so I've just joined in.
Call. Okay. All right. No
Yeah,
problem. I'm going to take
I'm
you through
just.
for the last time. All
I
right.
can't
So
hear you.
it seems a lot of people. It seems a lot of people did not get the actual understanding because they actually joined late, so probably they were facing network issues. But nonetheless, I'm still going to just take you through from A to Z, and then we come to a close immediately we are done. So who again? So I'm going to go with Mary Jane. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So please shoot. Tell me. I'll be asking you a question. You have to respond to the question. Now, what is the third item that you need to address whenever you have a design to jump on? So I'm going to give you an hint. So what is the third phase of design thinking?
Okay. So I didn't quite get the question.
Okay, I said, what is the third phase of design thinking?
So I did.
I did. Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's brilliant. So, last person that I'll be calling because we need to come to a close. As much as this is fun, let me just call Alpha. Alpha, can you hear me? Hello, Alpha. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm just going to Shadrach. Go ahead. I think you want to answer a question. It's fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So I think you're very energetic. You want to answer a question. Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. What question am I going to give you? So give me the four principles of design thinking.
Okay, we have empathize. So you have to get in the shoes of your user.
Hold
Define.
on, hold on. There is a difference between phases of design thinking and the principles of design. Principles are basically rules, things that you have
Oh,
to follow, and
sorry.
I'm sure you know the rules, right? So
Mm-hmm.
go ahead.
Um, we have the human rule,
Wonderful. Go ahead.
ambiguity rule,
Amazing. I love that.
um, design and redesign,
That's splendid.
and tangibility.
I love that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I have two more people. I'll address the two people and then we come to a close. So I tell you the tasks that you have to do today. So Malumo, Malumo.
Heck, I'm here.
Hi, did I pronounce that correctly?
No,
Okay, what's the correct pronunciation?
Malumo.
Malumo. I'm so sorry about that. So I'm just going to stick with Afsat. So I do not make mistakes. All right. So
Yeah,
yeah. So are you ready for my question?
yeah.
All right. So the question is. What do you understand by the term user centric way?
So you can repeat your question.
Yeah, the question is what do you understand by the term user centric way?
Okay, so what I understand by the term user-centric way is that the topic or the problem is based on the user, like is centered on the user.
Oh, Lord of mercy. You're such an amazing person. I love how you responded. That's so thoughtful. That's very deep. You are absolutely correct.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for the response. The last person I will be calling would be who am I? Yeah, Oluwaseyin Fumi. I've not heard from you lately. Oluwaseyin Fumi, can you hear me? You were the one who spoke about food
Yes, I
security, right?
can.
Food insecurity, right?
No, 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 that wasn't me. I spoke
That was
about
not. What did you speak
climate
about?
change.
Okay, it was Shadara that talked about that. All
Yes,
right.
I
So,
just.
the question is, are you ready?
I think I am.
Can you take a deep breath and you release again?
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. It's not like we want to fight a war. It's not like the world is coming to an end, but it's fine. So, the question is, in a situation where you have to solve a problem, you were able to find the solution to this problem. It is now time for you to deploy it to the public. What exactly are you supposed to do before deploying to the public?
I think after finding a solution, you build a prototype and you test it before giving it to the public to use.
So, what exactly are you supposed to do before putting it to the public? Are
You
you doing the
test it.
prototype testing? That is
Yes.
wonderful. Exactly what I was expecting. Thank you very much. I think this has been
You're
really,
welcome.
really
Thank you.
insightful. Hearing all of you speak and share your ideas has been wonderful. So I'm just going to take you through from beginning to end again, and then we come to a close. So for those who were unable to join us from scratch, get a proper grasp of this, and then I'm going to give you an assignment. Trust me. So let me go again. I'm going to be very, very quick here. So yeah, we talked about the introduction to user interface design, but we did not really, really explain this. We are going to be explaining that in the next session. We actually talked about design thinking processes, and what did we discuss here? Design thinking